Hello, it's me, Liz Yuille, just checking that we are actually live. Let me see, are we live? Are we live? We're live! Hurrah, hurrah! Phew! It's nice that at least one day this week things so far are working. How is everyone? Let me just flip over to the other screen. There we go. So, I'll do a bit of housekeeping while everyone is waiting. Gosh, what a lag we've got today. So while everyone's joining, I will do the housekeeping, which is slightly worried that we're nearly a minute in and I still can't see me. It says excellent connection. When you join, if you could let me know you're there. Hello, Mary. I'm so pleased you're there. Why can you see me, or have you still got the welcome screen? Well, you won't know. That's weird. I'm going to leave a comment. Are you still on the welcome screen? You see me. Okay, that's weird because I don't see me. Okay, I'm going to see if I can see me somewhere else. This is going to be... Oh, let's get rid of that noise. Don't need that noise. Skip ads. Yes! For some reason, my YouTube studio is not showing me, which is a little disarming, but never mind. I will keep going regardless. So, loud and clear. Good. Marvellous. It's just very odd. So why... I'm not even going to think about it. Anyway, so quick bit of housekeeping. So my name is Liz Yuille. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based in the UK, working across France, Germany, Austria, the Netherlands, Belgium, and the Republic of Ireland. This is my job. There are worse jobs to have in the world. Although when the IT goes screwy, I'm not convinced by that because, you know, it's screwy now. Let me see if I can put that. If I have my phone in front of me, that might help. If you are joining live, do please say hello when you join and let me know where you're joining from. I know that Mary and Deborah have both done that. Do remember that if you're enjoying it, a thumbs up is always appreciated. If you are joining on replay, you will know it's replay because I will have, instead of Chat and Craft Live, I will have Chat and Craft Live replay, and the screen will be slightly different as well. You will also know that you're not live because there won't be live chat and you may not have a live button anywhere on your screen. So, I hope everyone is keeping well. Hello, Claire. Hello, Hello, Margaret. How are you? I haven't heard from you for a long time. I miss you. So, I'm going to be using... Oh, dear. Here we go. I must be doing something right because I'm getting stupid people trying to leave stupid comments. Remove... So we'll remove that, and we will also report our little interloper for pornography and sexually explicit material report. And once we've done that, we will obviously hide them from our channel. Good. Okay. Oop, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to not do that. I want to do... I'll be with you in a minute. Hide user on channel. There we go. Right. So, thank you very much. 69XXX site. We don't want you here. Thank you. So go away. Right. Hello, Barbara from North Carolina. Hello, Gail from Bristol. Sorry about that little takeover by our friend. As I say, I must be doing something right, or I wouldn't be getting people doing that. I'm going to be doing two slightly different things today. I'm going to be doing long thin cards, and I'm going to be using a new stamp set, well, new to me, Window Wishes, which has yet to be inked up. It comes with dies, so I'm going to flip the camera down and show you the bundle. So yes, I'm doing slimline. Slimline is what I was looking for. So let me flip the camera down. Now I'm still trialing my new layout, as in I've switched my cameras around. I have actually changed the settings on the camera on my face, so you may now be able to see every single line on my face, which will be lovely for you. But hopefully that will be a little clearer than it was yesterday when I did my Tuesday live. Yes, I know yesterday was Wednesday. Glitches. So it's really disarming that I can only see Old Stables Craft starting shortly on my YouTube studio. Anyway, so Window Wishes. It's a photopolymer stamp set. The pictures on the front of the stamp case are 95%, so they are actually bigger in real life. So we've got sentiments, we've got peace, from our hearts to yours, for lots of joy at Christmas. I'm just realising that my heater is not actually pointing in my direction. And then we've got may happy moments and wonderful memories be yours this season. Now, for those of you who need a Hanukkah image, we have got candles. It's not a menorah, but it is candles, and it's actually 2 stamps. The house is 2 stamps, the car is 2 stamps. Then we've got lots of snowbanks, we've got a tree, we've got snow, we've got 2 sets of pine trees, we've got a wreath, and we've got this lovely archway. And then for the dies, let's put them the other way up, we've got a die for 1, 2, that's the house, that's the candle tops, that's the candle bottoms. We've got a window, we've got a window frame, we've got this straight line, which I think is to add bits onto your window. We've got bows, we've got trees, we've got the roof of the house, and we've got the 2 Christmassy shaped trees, and also 1 die for the wheels, because the wheels are separate. So you've all gone very quiet since I got rid of our little friend, so just so that I know you're still there, a couple of comments would be good, so that I don't suddenly think I've blocked all of you. And as I say, thumbs up is always lovely. I'm using 2 sets of paper. I'm using the Painted Christmas, which actually carried over from, I'm so happy to get to see you live, yes, from upstate New York. Thank you, Margaret. Just going to have a drink of water. I've got a very dry throat. So yes, the Painted Christmas Designer Series paper is a returning favourite. So it's got Calypso Coral, Cherry Cobbler, Crumb Cake, Early Espresso, Evening Evergreen, Garden Green, Pear Pizzazz, Real Red, Soft Seafoam and Soft Succulent. And because I'm doing slimline cards, Soft Succulent's a good colour. But I'm also going to see if I can use the Lights Aglow paper, which apparently I'm low on, which is Basic Black, Cherry Cobbler, Evening Evergreen, Soft Succulent, Very Vanilla. And I still have a tickle. Still here, good. Hello, Carol from Point Townsend, WA, Western Australia, I'm guessing. Excuse me. Certainly when I was in Perth, there was an advert which was for tourists, which was great from WA. So I'm hoping WA is Western Australia. I hasten to add that my cough is only a leftover from having had COVID. It's not a COVID cough, if you see what I mean. Right, so those are all the dies. So basically there are dies for everything apart from that tree and the snowbanks. Well, actually, no, there's snowbanks as well, plus some extras. So, hello, Judith from East Sussex. I have pre-cut a couple of card bases purely because I needed to work out the sizes. So if I grab the envelopes, which I've now buried, so the envelopes are slimline envelopes which come in soft succulent, smoky slate and white. They are 3 7/8 by 8 7/8. So basically they're made the perfect size for North American cardstock, which is 8.5 by 11, which means you can do the width. If we do the width in the rest of the world, we get a very short, it's not really slimline, it's not got the width. So I have used full sheets, and for that, let me grab one of them. So this is 8.5 by 7 3/4, and then scored at 3 7/8, and that will then hopefully... Oh, no, I'm going to have to trim it off a bit because I've actually done it so it's exactly the same size as the card. That was stupid. So I will take... How much have we got off there? So I need to take 1/4 inch off each side. So it's actually going to be 7.5. Let me correct this. 7.5 scored at, I think, 7 3/4. So if I take 1/4 inch off, that will be better. So yes, 7 and... Oh no, it'll be 7 5/8. Sorry, 3 5/8 for the score line. That's better. So 3 5/8 for the score line. Don't you love that I just, get it wrong? We had lunch club this afternoon and my brain is still at lunch club. So I'm going to take 1/4 inch off this one as well. So my surface, my card front, is 8.5 by 3 5/8. And that will fit nicely into my slimline envelope. Right, so I do need some white, which I have failed to get out. Ordinary white, just any old sheet will do, Liz. It doesn't need to be anything special, so a sheet of white. So I am going to cut this to do a nice layer. I will be doing some stamping and some just designer series paper. But this, I am going to cut. I'm going to use its width. So I'm taking, so this is 8 1/4, all bar. So basically I'm taking 1/4 inch off the width. So I need to take 1/4 inch off the length. So I'm going to go down from 3 5/8 to 3 3/8. And that should give me a nice layer to go onto my card. Like that. Which is a nice layer. So, I'm going to grab my stamps, which are virgin. Hello, Jan. So yes, I've not used these yet, which is criminal. So I'm actually going to use the car and the single tree and the car wheels. And that's probably all to begin with. And I'm going to use a scrap of paper. So I'm going to be doing some stamping and die cutting. So let me grab a block. So this is a B block, and I'm going to just prep my stamp by rubbing it so that it's not got any of that non-stick finish that we don't love. And I'm going to go down the subtles, and I'm going to start with Blushing Bride, Mint Macaron, Pool Party, So Saffron, and... Oh, actually, I might miss Highland Heather. I might take Mint Macaron off. Mint Macaron goes there. And put in, because I love it, Soft Sea Foam. So we've got lots of lovely colours. Hello, Wendy. Nice to have you home. I have to say, it's lovely to be home. Although, having said that, it was lovely in Vienna. It was so nice. But yes, it is nice to be home. Although the journey back was interesting. We had a slight delay, but at least we didn't have to change flights. A lot of people had to change flights. So anyone who was travelling back on Monday, because there was dreadful fog at Heathrow, planes that were supposed to be flying out to Vienna couldn't get to Heathrow in order to fly out to Vienna. So our flight was in Barcelona in the morning, was 3 hours late into Heathrow in order to then fly to Vienna. So yeah. Now this is joined so that the wheels are the right distance apart. It's got a very narrow piece of photopolymer between the two, so you need to let it relax so that it doesn't do anything naughty. So what I am going to do is I'm going to check my dies. So the die that I need is this one and this one. So I need to stamp my wheels and my dies, my wheels and my car separately, and also obviously my tree. I will come back and do the tree later. So I'm going to start with my cars. This is a very juicy ink pad, very juicy. I think I might need to store that the wrong way up for a while, but we'll give it a go. It's fine, but I do think I need to store this the wrong way up for a while. So our ink pads, in case you didn't know, when you close them, the ink is pushed by gravity to the surface of the ink pad. If you find that your ink pad is too juicy, instead of storing them with the colour up, store them the other way up, and then the ink will push back down. So that may just help a little. I have just cleaned and remembered to bring over my scrub. So I've got a nice clean scrub. So let's spray it with some mist. I stupidly forgot to wash it before I went to Vienna. So then I had to do it after I got back. The idea had been that I would be able to leave it to dry while I was away. Never mind. So, soft sea foam, again quite juicy. I think I'll pop this one the other way up. That's very juicy. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, I thought I had it around, I do. I'm going to grab an old bone folder. It's plastic, it's cheap and nasty, and I'm going to push the ink back. So can you see, hopefully you can see, that it's very much lighter there. That's because I pushed the ink down into the ink pad. So I'll just wipe that off with my cloth and ink up again. I've probably gone too far. Ink up again. And that's better. So can you see this one's very, very inky and this one's a better sort of finish. So do remember that. And again, I'm going to store it upside down so that next time I come to it, it won't be so juicy. Hoping that my pool party won't be as bad, but you never know. Right. I've got a new set of ink pads. You wouldn't have guessed it, really, would you? No, that's too not nice. Let me grab a scrap of... I had a scrap. Never mind, I'll just clean it off. So again, I'm going to push that back. So here we go again. Push. And I just need a little bald patch in the middle. And then wipe my bone folder. And then I can ink up with a better amount of ink. That's betterer. And again, I'm going to store this the wrong way up. I'm hoping soft... Oh, that looks better. My soft saffron looks more like I would expect it to look. So this I can, apart from the bit of fluff I've got on it, I can ink up as is. It's still quite juicy, but it's not as bad. I think I'll give that a little time standing on its head as well. And Highland Heather, who knows? Also quite juicy. So we're going to do that trick again. Push it back. I like to try and wipe as much of the ink back into the ink pad as I can. That's better. And then we've got, ignore that one, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. I may not fit them all on, but I'm going to give it a go. So that's those. So I want another scrappy scrap, very scrappy scrap, for my wheels. And I'm going to use basic grey because I want them to be reasonably dark but not black. So ink them up, and I need 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 sets of wheels, and I need, I think I was going to say I'll go, no, I'm going to go Evening Evergreen. I was going to go Shaded Spruce, but Shaded Spruce is not my favourite colour. Your hands look tanned. I think that must just be the light. I wish they were. You're very welcome, Carol. What I hate seeing, and I mean really hate, is some people get a piece of kitchen paper or blotting paper and soak the ink up, and it does my head in because you're wasting ink. Don't do it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 trees, because we're going to put those on top of our cars, maybe. But no, I don't. I mean, they may be tanned. I don't know. I think it may just be the lighting. I wish, as I say, I wish I'd been somewhere where they could have got tanned. So I'm going to just chop these bits into more manageable sizes, because we're then going to feed them through our cut and emboss. So let's go. Now obviously I'm going to have to do a reasonable amount of die cutting, so talk amongst yourselves. What we can do while I'm die cutting is I'm still doing my Top Tip Tuesdays on window sheet. So has anyone got any questions or queries that they would like me to cover when I've finished doing my window sheet Top Tip Tuesdays? Because I would be very happy to see if I can help in any way. So I've got my little cut and emboss and some very well used cutting plates. Let's close my stamp cleaner. I am going to cut these into single things to die cut, just so that it's a bit easier. So we'll have a tree, we'll have a car, and we'll have some wheels. And I've got some low tack tape. You can use washi tape, but do make sure it's not washi tape that is too sticky, if that doesn't sound mad, because sometimes washi tape can tear your card if it's too sticky, so please don't do that. Is it thick and can it be used on boxes, please? Oh yes, it can. It can indeed. In fact, I will be doing a box with window sheet later in the month. But if there's anything that isn't window sheet that anyone's got queries about, now is your moment to ask, so that I can do some top tips on them. I mean, I can probably answer now, but equally I can do some top tips. But yes, the key with window sheet is, and boxes, is to make sure that it's burnished properly without scraping it. So window sheet is not the same as any old acetate. If you watched my first top tip with window sheet, I did a heat embossing, and I showed what happened if you used your heat tool on just any old acetate and what happened if you used it on your window sheet, and they are not the same thing at all. So please don't confuse them. Right, so that's one car and one tree. I hope you enjoy watching people die cut, because that's kind of what we're going to be doing for a while. Good morning, Cindy from Tennessee. I hope you are well. So I had a lovely, lovely time in Vienna, eating far too much bad food. I mean, no, good food, but it was not good for me food. I can't eat chocolate, so Zackertorte wasn't a problem for me. But strudel I like. So I did have quite a lot of apple strudel. Can't see through the tape. Now, I don't think there's a right and a wrong way up for these wheels, although that doesn't look quite right. Let's see if it looks better the other way up. Ooh, there is. There's a right way and a wrong way up for your wheels, although I've moved it so much it really doesn't matter. Right, I need a car and I need a tree. So, car. Is this the right car? Yes, it is the right car. So yes, I probably need to go on a diet. No, there's no probably about it. I need to go on a diet. I was at the gym this morning and it was really quite embarrassing. But, you know, there you go. I might just do 3 cars purely because they are taking quite a long time to do. And it's not quite as bad as watching paint dry, but jolly close. Do you know, I've still got the Old Stables Craft Starting Shortly screen in front of me on my computer. Heaven knows why. But there we go. I'm going to have to bend down in a moment and turn my heater off because I am doing my Tom Brown School Days impression. Now, I know that has been confusing some of you, but Tom Brown School Days, written many years ago, is the story of, surprise, surprise, Tom Brown's School Days. And he was at a public school, which in the UK is private. Hello, Audrey. Someone was bullying him, and to bully him, they basically roasted him in front of a fire, which is not the nicest thing in the world to do, but there we go. So I have a fire on under my desk, which is lovely until it gets to that point where my shins feel as if they're about to burn. We're at that point. Excuse me. So I'll turn that off. When I came into my studio after I got back from lunch, the temperature in here was in centigrade 12.5 degrees. So I'm trying to not heat this room unless I absolutely have to. And then I'm just heating the bit of the room in front of me. So, hence Tom Brown School Days. Right, okay, so we'll just do 3. I like an odd number, in case you didn't know. But I like an odd number. So, this is going to be quite a simple card. I did do a shaker card yesterday, but I try not to do anything too complicated on my craft and chats, because otherwise they can take a long time, which is not great. Let me find my metallic magnetic thing so I can make sure I don't lose my dies. One of my lovely team gave me that for my birthday. So, rubbish, rubbish, rubbish. Rubbish, rubbish. In fact, everything is rubbish other than those. Or not rubbish necessarily, but just not for now. So I've got 1 card, 2 card. Where's my other card gone? There it is. Right. Okay, so that lot we'll get rid of for the moment. So I've got my piece of white Flashman, that was the one, Audrey Flashman, who was dreadful to Tom Brown. So I'm going to stick my wheels onto my car, and all you need to do that is add some adhesive to this white strip here. So it's really easy. And I've got a very full pot of, it's a newish, didn't want to do that, very full pot of multi-purpose liquid glue. I also didn't want to make that noise because it's tickled my throat. Excuse me. Having had COVID twice, I have been left with this annoying tickle, but it is just an annoying tickle. It's nothing more worrying than that. Oh, here we go again. Right, where's a piece of scrap paper? That'll do. Because then I can spread it thinly and take off what I don't need. So this literally just goes, so from the back you've just got the white bit stuck to the white bit. Like I could have said that better. Right, so this has already got glue on it. So I'm just going to put the rest of that glue on there and pick up my Highland Heather car and just pop my wheels on. Simple as. Right, let's pop the lid on that. So we've got our piece of card and we've got our cars. Now we're going to need something for the cars to drive on, because I can't have them just hanging in the air. That just doesn't happen in my life. No, don't like any of those. So what I'm going to do is grab my, where's it gone? Where are you? There you are. Soft succulent ribbon. So the ribbon can become the road. Or it would if it wasn't for the fact that I can't find the end of my scissors. Right, so I am going to attach my ribbon to my card. Actually, that looks more like the back. So I'm going to line up my card, grab my, will the cold affect using ink or glue? Yes and no. Hot weather tends to make things more liquid, particularly if they are alcohol, so your Stamp and Write markers, for example. Glue is also tends to be a bit more liquid in warm weather, but this glue is runny at 12 degrees centigrade, which in my brain is not cold, not hot. It's not cold, but it's not hot. But yes, alcohol, anything with alcohol in particular, will be affected by the temperature. And glue, as in particularly the seal, can be affected by humidity. So yes and no. That was unhelpful, wasn't it? But yes and no. So I'm going to have my little cars driving along in a line, and they're going to have their trees on top. I haven't decided what order the cars are going yet, but they're going to have trees on top, sort of like that. And somewhere along the line I want a sentiment, and I think I'm going to use "For Lots of Joy at Christmas," and I'm going to use that to fill some of my space, because there is quite a lot of space. So I think I'm going to have my cars over to the right and my sentiment to the left. Hello, Barbara. Do you think slim cars have a chance with Stampin' Up? Well, they do envelopes for them, so I would like to think so. No, I'll go soft succulent. So yes, I'm hoping, while they keep slimline envelopes, I think they have a chance with Stampin' Up. Of course, you can make your own slimline envelopes in any size you want. And actually, slimline envelopes, I think, are easier to make than standard size cards because they're narrow and things. So for lots of joy this Christmas, I want my dimensionals. I think I want one large and one small. So let's do all of those. But yeah, certainly at the moment, Barbara, while they've got the envelopes, they have a chance. The answer really is if people buy the envelopes, then the envelopes will stay. If people don't buy the envelopes, then the envelopes will be retired. I mean, they may be retired anyway, but if they don't sell, they definitely will be retired. Because obviously Stampin' Up wants to sell things that sell. Sell things that sell? Yes, that makes sense. So these are just going to go on in the order in which I uncover them, sort of. So that's my first card. I'm actually going to do this one next, which is the Blushing Bride. And I know I said I was going to put them in the order in which I uncover them, but I've changed my mind. So that's that one. Is there another stamp set with the copyright stamp? Another other than which? Generally there is only one copyright stamp set at a time. In the US you have a number 10 business envelope. Yeah, we have something similar. What we would call a DL. Don't ask me why, but it's a DL. And it's roughly the same size. But personally I like to use Stampin' Up stuff because that's what I sell. So strangely that's what I tend to use. But yes, there is a DL in the UK. And a DL is is a third of a sheet of A4. So you'd cut it in as 2/3 and 1/3. Now I've got this strip of just random dimensional, which I'm going to put on the top of my tree, just so there's something to hold down the top as well. Housework whenever, exactly. Although we have our bin collection tomorrow and we're having garden waste collected and I need to cut some hedging, and I had intended to do that soon after lunch. That was before I forgot that it was our village lunch club today. So I'd sat down. I had already made my lunch, which was only a cup of soup and some toast, but I had literally, it was coming up to my mouth. My husband said, "You're not going to lunch club today?" So, oops, peeled my dimensional off. So, yes, so I lost 2 hours out of my day. I'm hoping it's still going to be just about light enough that I can do the worst of the hedging after we've finished. So, Wendy, which copyright stamp are you talking about? Or which stamp set are you talking about? I think it's... I think I know which one it is. Although I wouldn't know where to find it in the catalogue instantly. So those are my 3 cards driving along, doing their thing. And actually all I'm going to do is stick that to the front of my card. Like that. So it's going to be a very simple card just with those 3 things. What I don't know where it is, oh actually I think I do, is, yes, wasn't sure where my seal was, I took it to Vienna with me. Dimensional lengthwise, thank you Margaret. Crafting forever, housework whenever. Thank you, that's what you meant by housework whenever. Right, I'm with you. Yes, I think that is the only one. They do tend to only have one copyright stamp at a time, and policy says that you have to use a Stampin' Up made copyright stamp, not something you get off Vistaprint or eBay or wherever. Dimensional lengthwise. But you can use a retired one, so if you've got one of the old ones, you can use that. It doesn't have to be, because they're the same. I have one that I had an address label made, and I've stuck a very old copyright stamp to the same block. I don't think I'd ever get it off again, actually. It's been there so long. So that's a Stampin' Up copyright stamp, and that's my handmade by. So I've literally just cut this off an old stamp and stuck it on, and I never clean it. It goes whatever colour it needs to be. So that's my first card. Very simple, very, very simple. So I'm going to do one now that uses designer series paper. It's like I have no brain. However, now if I want to use 6x6 designer series paper, it's not big enough, but we can deal with that. So let's open up and see what we've got left in here. I think this was the one that went out of stock in Europe for a while. It's so pretty. So lots of bokeh and stars and panels and things. I think quite like that one, which is that on the back. It's kind of, some of it's vanilla and some of it's white. It's a bit strange. That one won't work. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with my first choice, which is this one. Thank you, Cindy. Yeah, I'm going to stick with my first choice of this one. I might use some of the others as well. In fact, I think I will use some of the others as well. I might use an Evergreen Envy one. That's got some... Oh no, that's too pretty on the front. Can't use that. It's far too pretty on the front. Let's use Cherry Cobbler. Right, so we know that what we need in order to cover the whole piece of card is, in fact I'm going to go that way this time, is 3.5. I think I said 3.5. It's like my brain is still in Vienna. Oh no, 3 3/8. Right, so I need 3 3/8 width, but I also need 8 1/4 depth, which this is not it. Hello Bee and hello Lorna. So what I could do is just have 2 separate panels, but I want to have this all the way down. So, well, ish. So I'm going to cut this the width I want it, which is 3 3/8. We've established that. So 3 3/8. So that's the right width for full width. I might actually trim it down a bit more because I may want the Cherry Cobbler to be wider. Yeah, I think I'm going to take 1/8 off. So 1/8 is one little blip. So it comes down to 3 1/4. So we'll do 3 1/4. Now obviously this is not going to be 3 1/4 wide, because it's anything that's less than 3 on this piece means that this is going to, oh, sorry, more than 3 means this is going to be less than 3. So if we do 3 3/8 in this, we now have 2 panels that are too short, but it's fine, because what we can do is we can cut them. So we're going to have that there, and we're going to bring it down here, and we're going to have this on top, and we're going to bring it down here, but we're going to have a gap, and we're just going to fill the gap. It's easy. So shouldn't have put that away. So I'm going to cut this about 1/3 ish. In fact, I'll go at 4 inches. And I'm going to cut this at about the same. So we now have 4 pieces that are not big enough. So first thing to do is to attach this to my cherry cobbler. If you think I have a plan, please think again. I don't. Just saying. Let's not be stupid. Plan I do not have. So that goes like that. So that on there, were it not for the gap, would look lovely. So we're going to do the same with this. So we now know that our gap is that big. So all we need to do is find something to fill it. So we've got various stamps that we can use. And I'm thinking, ooh, I know what we can do. Because I do want to use this stamp set. I like to give myself these challenges every now and again. So I'm going to use the house. And those trees. Don't think anything else will be the right scale because in comparison to the house, the cars are enormous. So we'll not worry about that. There's my scrap. So let's build a house. So let's think about the colours that we've got in our paper, which are black, cherry cobbler, evening evergreen, soft succulent and very vanilla. So I'm going to grab cherry cobbler for the roof, crumb cake for the house, and evening evergreen for the trees. So, crumb cake. Gosh, 30 people watching. So, again, this is quite juicy. I think I need to store all of my stamps the wrong way up for a while. It's what happens when you buy yourself a new, not stamps, ink pads. I've treated myself to new ink pads. Cat hair. So, clean this non-stick off my stamp. Put a piece of fluff onto my stamp. Where's my old tweezers? Thank you. Don't want fluff. That looks bent. That's better. Right, so trees, and let's use a ridiculously large block for the roof. This is also probably going to be quite juicy. So let's clean that. Prep it is probably a better word. Yeah, that's quite juicy too. Hey ho. It's fine. Right, now I am going to clean that red one fairly lippity split. Because as we know, red stains, doesn't make dirty, stains photopolymer. So the sooner you can clean it off, the less staining you're going to get. It is still stained, but it is clean. Clean dirt, not dirty dirt. The difference between a stain and dirt is whether it's clean or dirty. I have pressed a like for... Oh, thank you, BB has pressed a like for me. Thank you. I like likes. Right, so let me grab my mini emboss, cut and emboss. Ooh, I've just thought of something. Plates would be helpful. There they are. If you could see the state my desk is in already, and I've only been crafting for 3/4 of an hour. It's like a whirlwind has come through. I did say I was going to use the Painted Christmas. I don't think I'm going to get a chance to use it, but it doesn't matter. I need that and that and that. I was looking for the double trees, but I've already taken the double trees off. So, house. So this weekend I'm going to spend scrapbooking, probably on our trip to Vienna. Possibly, for those who were in Vienna, Dude on a Stick. Which, unless you were there, probably doesn't make any sense. But those of us who were there, I think can agree that Dude on a Stick was quite a nice highlight for us. It was part of the entertainment on Thursday night. Put on by Stamping Up, I would hasten to add. Dude on a Stick did entertain us. Right. Okay. Let's die cut those. Then all we've got to do is fill the gap, which is going to be quite easy. I'm also going to scrapbook a photo of the lady that I travelled with. We spent most of the time we were there photographing food, and I got a photograph of her photographing food, which just amused me because I am easily amused. Right, so where's my bit? There's my bit. So what I need to do is fill that gap. I'm going to fill that gap with a piece of white. So I'm going to have the piece of white the same width as my card so that it looks more intentional. So I've got my piece of white card and I'm going to cut that at 3 5/8. And I know this piece of card is way too big, but it's fine. So 3 5/8. And it's probably going to be, well, it's obviously going to be too long, but what I'm going to do is stick these two down and then decide how big my white needs to be, because the white is going to go over the gap. And this is how you can stretch your paper. Oh, thank you, Barbara. No, you're saying that to B, but thank you for saying that to B. We all got home at something approaching reasonable time, even if it wasn't necessarily the time we anticipated getting home. As I said at the beginning, fog. Not a great idea. Why they built Heathrow Airport, where they built it, I do not know. I know it's flat, but it's also historically had a problem with fog. Right, so I need my piece of card to be at least that gap, well, the gap between the cherry cobbler and the cherry cobbler. I'm going to cut it there. This is the back. So this is going to go there to cover up that gap. It's like the gap doesn't exist. Now, to make sure that it's well adhered, I am going to use more seal than I would normally. If you followed me for any time at all, you will know that I hate using Tombow on basic white and very vanilla, the smooth variety, because to my mind it shows through to the front of the piece of card. Now that's very slightly too wide, so I'm going to just grab my snips and I mean very slightly. This is less than 1 millimetre I'm taking off, so I'm just trimming that away so that it's flush, like that. Then I can have my little house, the house that Liz built, and my trees, and I'm going to have some snowbanks. Mind the gap. When is on stage in the UK? Absolutely no idea, Wendy. We haven't been told that. There will be a virtual on stage November next year, I think. So I'm going to have my snowbanks. There we go. So let's see, is that going to fit? That one will fit on there. And this one will definitely fit on there. So I'm going to use Balmy Blue. But I'm going to stamp Balmy Blue off. I want it really pale. So I'm going to bring in my cheat sheet. So we need the house to kind of sit in the gap, because the bottom of the house is bent. So I need this to be almost straight, because that way the house will sit. And I've, as I say, I've stamped it off, and then so it's very pale. And then this one I'm going to do just there, so they're not lined up deliberately. And then we can nuzzle our house on there, and we can have the trees anywhere we want them. So I'm going to put those on dimensionals, and then we're going to be done, apart from adding some embellishment, because I think this card needs some embellishment. So I'm just going to have a couple of large dimensionals. I might put one small one down in the bottom there. Having said, I will only put 2 on. I'm just reading B's comment. We were so lucky we didn't get rain. You're absolutely right. So that's there. Oh, we've had lots since getting home. Oh dear. Yes, we've got mild flooding in the village next to us. I mean, I'm not saying it's major, it is mild, and it normally floods where it's flooding. There's a drain that doesn't work properly. You'd think that someone would go out and check it, really, wouldn't you? But no, let's not do that. Yeah, I think a large one will fit. Just. So a large and a strip, and it's not an adhesive strip, it's an edge of dimensional. So we'll pop that on top of our house. And then this will need another little bit of my little thin strip. This, I think, this is the edge of one of my mini dimensional packs. So we'll have that, and we'll have that, and that will be sufficient. It's raining with you today, is it, Barbara? I'm hoping it will stay dry for me to go and do my hedge trimming once I've finished here. It'll be nearly dark, but it's fine, it will be done. So that's going to go over there. So that's our pretty bit. I'm going to come in with some Wink of Stella, because I do like a bit of Wink of Stella for snow scenes, because it's, you know, snowy. You probably won't be able to see it, but it is there. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And then go in. Go in. Thank you. Oof. Get these out. And I might just go for ordinary rhinestones. No, maybe not. I was going to say ordinary rhinestones, but no, maybe not. No. No. See what I'm looking for? Can't find. This is what happens when you go away, you see. You lose where you've put things. Don't want red. I might just use pearls, because pearls would work. Oh, and one of them's dropped down anyway, so let's use some pearls. Take your pick tool. Where's my take your pick tool? There it is, buried. Have your new trees survived the dry summer? They have, mostly because before the hosepipe ban, my hubby and I watered them. And then after the hosepipe ban, so we watered them with a hose. And then after the hosepipe ban, we watered them using buckets. And then it started raining. So yes, we've been quite lucky actually. They have most, I think one of them's gone, but nothing too much. It's been raining every day with you, Audrey. That's not good. So just to bring the pearl into the gold effect, I'm going to bring some of the pearls up into here. Let's pop one on the front of that. I kind of, you know, just random, just so that it's tied together reasonably. I'm trying to do odd numbers, so I need one more in here somewhere. So I've got 5, 3, 3, and then, oops, come on, we'll have, oh, that's quite small. Okay, I'll pop you there. 1, 2, 3. So fairly random-esque. Hello, Mary Ellen from Montana, from a chilly Montana. Right, so we are finished. So we had one long thin, one tall thin. You could add some more bits down here if you wanted. I think I might add some more Wink of Stella, because I think you can never have too much Wink of Stella. Expecting snow later, but currently warm enough to have melted the snow you got yesterday. Way too warm for us to have snow here yet. Way too warm. Yeah, we normally don't have snow until January, if at all. Snow is not something that we tend to get that much in the UK. And when we do get it, we're so unprepared that it's a nightmare. Excuse for grafting, absolutely. So this, let me go back to my other camera, because at the moment I'm working off a phone and something that says I will start shortly. So this is the one. I'm just trying to see if I can get the Wink of Stella to do its thing, and it won't. Come on, Wink of Stella. Oh, a little bit there. So that's that one. Not very in focus up there, but quite nicely in focus down there. And then this one, which is very much more simplistic. So we've literally just got the sentiment and the 3 cars. So there we are. That is our Facebook Live for today. For me, it's going to be a day to go and, as I say, trim hedges so we can see out. So if you have enjoyed that, a thumbs up would be wonderful. You've had sub-zero wind chills with icy roads all over Montana. Yeah. I think there's a reason why I don't want to live in Montana, and that might be one of them. Anywho, as I say, if you've enjoyed it, a thumbs up is always appreciated. If you've got any questions or comments and you're watching after the event, you can add those below the description bar. And I will get back to you. I'm a little bit behind, but not too bad. I was up to date. I will see you soon too, Wendy. The next, Wendy is part of my team. The next team event will have a date, but no day, because I really can't get days and dates to work together. Thank you, Audrey. So have a fantastic rest of your day. I will be doing a simple stamping Saturday for Saturday. Top Tip Tuesday might be something to do with window sheets, because it is. And then I'll be back live, the IT gods willing, next Tuesday late morning, 11 o'clock UK time. Until then, Have a fantastic day, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.